Hey there YouTube, Team SocialLink here, bringing you two box openings of Fighters Collection 2015 Winter. This Fighters Collection did really good because it, just like last Fighters Collection, it really helped out some old decks and some new decks. With support, introduced, you get a stride and a non-stride for each clan, minus Token Rombo, Cray Elemental, you know, those ones. The support is really good. You have, what is it, like 8-9 generation rares, and then triples and doubles. Full art generation rares, of course, which is really very beautiful. Alright, let's get started. This one was damaged when I got it, so, you know, nothing on my end, just how I bought it. Oh, hang on. Alright. And then defeated by plastic. Alright. Let's get the first box opening started. I hope. And then we have, it says Generation Stride on the front. Very beautiful. Love the picture on the front is of Chronos Command Revolution, something like that. New Gear Chronicle card, basically G-Break 2. When he's placed, Counterblast 1, flip over a copy of him. All rear guards on all opponents. Leave opponents or fighters. I don't know. Rear guards get sent back. Then if you have the Chronos Command face up already, the older one, the GBTO1 generation rare, you can choose two of either fighters and they stay. So basically, you're gonna choose yours and they stay. All right. So let's start the pack opening. It's 3 packs. Or 3 cards per pack. So, you know, Fighters Collection, not really gonna get much. Alright, first we have Clear Out Starvader Burrowman. He's for Infinite, that Starvader Break Red that came in the trial deck. Basically, at the end of your turn, if you have a grade 3 Vanguard with Starvader, its card name, your opponent has a locked card, you may pay the cost. If you do, the cost is to retire the unit. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card with Infinite, its card name, write it as rest, and shuffle your deck. So basically, what you can do is, that turn, Break Ride, lock 2 units, and then have him. And if you have him, you know, call him or whatever, end of turn, retire him, you can re-Break Ride, get another 2. So your opponent has 4 locked cards, so basically they'd only have the Vanguard to swing with. You know, it depends on how their field's set up, of course. You could also use it, you know, it gets you more soul if you're running it with Chaos. Double rare. Alright, next double rare is Hellfire Seal Dragon Knight. Once per turn effect, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. If you have a Vanguard with Seal Dragon in its card name, until end of turn, all your opponent's rear guards cannot intercept. Then this unit gets power plus 2000 for each of your opponent's grade 2 units until end of turn. So, of course, you know, Seal Dragon's ability is to turn your opponents into grade 2s. So basically, your opponent has a full field of grade 2s. This thing gets plus 10,000 power. And your opponent can't intercept until end of turn, so basically your opponent has to guard a lot, you know, for the damage. Alright, then we have the Blade Wing, which Reggie and the grade 3 that came in this. Ability, Stride, of course, you know, discard cards equal in grade 3 or greater. From face down to face up. Alright, and then ability. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, if you have a heart card with Blade Wing in its card name, return all the cards from your drop zone into your deck. Shuffle your deck. Then if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more until end of turn, this unit gets continuous Vanguard. All your rear guards in the front row gain power plus 10,000, and if not, soul charge 5. So basically, with him, you place him down, you have 15, front row gains power plus 2,000. Even if you don't have a front row, when you call them, they will get the effect, I believe, from my understanding. And if not, soul charge 5. But his ability, he's pretty good because he helps prevent deck out, since it's almost like the Genesis stand, return everything from drop to deck. So he gets you cards back in your deck for either soul charging or, to prevent deck out, which, it's always helpful in that deck because they soul charge a lot. Alright, we have Witch Quill Pen's Onion. One on? Counterblast 1. When this card is put into the drop zone from your soul, if you have a Vanguard with Witch in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, call this unit to rear guard, and this unit gains power plus 2,000 until end of turn. So she becomes a 9k either attacker or booster end of turn for Genesis, and there you have another one, which rabbits, I think. 9k, same effect, becomes an 11k when she's called from soul counterblast. So they're getting pretty good. I mean, helps get you a booster and fills up field, for a counterblast instead of using hand, and you avoid getting her into soul. So we have Crown Holder Dragon next. When you Vanguard with Kaiser and its card name attack hits, choose up to one of your other units, and that unit and this unit get power plus 2,000 until end of turn. So this is for the Kaiser Vermilion Legion / Stride, all that. Basically, so if all 3 attacks hit, this unit will get plus 6,000, and then you can choose another unit to give plus 6,000, or choose 3 different units to give plus 2,000. But him plus the Stride's ability, when it hits, for each attack that hits, power plus 5,000 to a unit, really bumps up numbers. Oh, and then we have Interdimensional Dragon, Chronos Command Revolution. He's the card on the box art for Gear Chronicles. Ability is G-Break 2. Counterblast 1. Choose a face-down card named Interdimensional Dragon, Chronos Command Revolution from your G-Zone. Turn her face up. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent puts all of his or her rear guards on the bottom of his or her deck in any order. Then, if you have a face-up card named Interdimensional Dragon, Chronos Command Dragon in your G-Zone, choose up to 2 of your rear guards and put all of your rear guards other than those units on the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you do not, put all your rear guards on the bottom of the deck in any. Basically, stride him, counterblast 1, flip over a copy. Everything goes to the bottom of the deck. But if you have the first Chronos Command Dragon, you can choose 2 of your rear guards and they stay. So you don't lose as much field. And that's Generation Rare. Full art, which is very beautiful. Alright, let's see. Then we have Honorary Assistant Mixaburo. Mixaburo? I don't know. His ability is, when this unit is placed on rear guard during your main phase, choose one of your other rear guards until end of turn it gets auto. When this unit is placed into your drop zone from rear guard during your end phase, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 card, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Basically, he allows you to search for any grade 3, so you can use him in Stride, search for Big Bellies, search for Chat Noir, search for your Legions, basically anything, any grade 3 you need. He's good in any deck if you have the room. I mean, he doesn't allow you to draw a card, but he does get you a free grade 3, basically. So, and then we have the Nubatama grade 2. Stealth Rogue of Nightfog Agimaru. Ability is Vanguard or Rear Guard. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose up to 1 card from your opponent's bind zone and put it into the drop zone. He's really good because he's basically a free cost starter, but he only does 1 instead of 2. But that's pressure, because you have no soul, he hits, he's still gonna retire something from your bind zone. Boosted by the starter. If you had the bear, it's grade 2. He's a good vanguard and vanguard or rear guard, and then the bear binds one. So this says if the bear is boosted by the starter, and then you have this, pressure both ways. Don't want it to hit. Let's see. Then we have Loved by the Seven Seas, Night Mist. He's a stride. Act once per turn. Counterblast 1. If you have a heart card with 7 Seas in its card name, choose up to 2 cards from your drop zone, call them to separate rear guards, and at the end of that turn, retire the units called with this effect. I have a friend who loves Grand Blue Joe. I've seen him able to go from 0 field to full field using this stride, the break ride, and then the Fighters Collection grade 3 that came in. Basically what you do is ride the break ride, or you have the break ride on Vanguard. The other grade 3's ability is Counterblast 2 from the drop zone. At the beginning of your ride phase, pay the cost. If you do, you can ride it. Then break ride's effect goes off. Call 2 units, gain plus 5,000, I believe. And then I think those get retired, I believe. Then the other grade 3's ability, when placed on Vanguard, choose a card from your drop zone, call it. So that's 3 cards. His ability, and then stride, because all this happens before stride phase, because it's automatic. It's the auto, so it's when you ride. Then then you stride him, counterblast 1, spirit call another 2. You have a full field for 3 counterblasts and ditching 1 card. I mean, not bad at all, and then if you want, you could ride the break ride and then ride the other guy again next turn, but I've seen my friend go from 0 to 5 1 turn. It's terrifying. Alright, next we have one of my favorites, Dimensional Robo Daibazooka. Auto rear guard. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Kaiser in its card name, this unit gets power plus 2,000 until end of battle. He becomes an 11k, which isn't bad because him in the 12k, once you hit grade 3, he'll be swinging for 11 on his own. So he has some nice pressure, but his second ability is really what they needed. Continuous trigger zone. So basically, when you drive check him, he gets this ability. If you have a Vanguard with Kaiser in its card name, this unit gets grade plus 1. He counts as a grade 3, which means he will activate shield break abilities. And auto, when you drive check, reveals this card. Counter charge 1, soul charge 1. It's supposed to be soul charge 1. Bushi, has been misprinted. It says soul blast, but it's supposed to be soul charge. So we should be getting errata soon. I haven't seen one last I checked, but it's been a while since I checked. Alright, next we have Amphibian Dragon. Auto rear guard, wave 3rd time or more. Wave, new ability for Aqua Force, basically indicates number of battles, so he has to be the 3rd battle or more for this ability. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, search your deck for up to 1 card with Transcore in its card name, bind it face up, and shuffle your deck. He allows you to basically get the break ride. Make sure you have the break ride. And then auto rear guard, counterblast 1. At the beginning of your ride phase, if you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 1 card with Transcore and its card name from your bind zone or ride as stand. So basically, he gets you Transcore, but one problem is he has to be there at the beginning of your ride phase. So if he gets retired, locked, spun, tucked, whatever you want to call it, basically if he's no longer on the rear guard circle, you have a Transcore in the bind zone and you can't do anything with it unless you run the girl who can guard with things from the bind zone. And then last we have Conquering Supreme Dragon, Dragonic Kaiser Warning. Act. Vanguard once per turn. He's Generation Break 2, which means you have to have 2 face up. when you activate his, you have to have 2 face up for his skill to work. Counter Blast 1 and choose a face down card named Conquering Supreme Dragon Dragonic Kaiser Warning from your G zone and turn it face up. If you have a heart card with Kaiser in its card name, till end of turn, this card gets Continuous Vanguard. This unit battles all of your opponent's units in the front row in 1 attack and auto. When this unit attack hits, choose up to 2 of your other units and they get power plus 5,000 till end of turn. So basically, all 3 attacks hit your Vanguard and your 2 front row units if you have a full front row. 5,000 for each attack, so that's 15, that's 15 for each one, or 15 to 1 unit if you choose one. That plus Crown Holder means if you want, 1 unit could get 7,000 power just from 1 attack. So it's a really good combo. I mean, power up the wazoo. Your opponent doesn't have this, your opponent loses 2 rear guards and they have to guard with a lot more now, especially if you get triggers. Next we have for Oracle Think Tank a new witch, Rose Red Witch Cuckoo for Cocoa apparently. Auto Counter Blast 1. When these units placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, and if you have a Vanguard with Witch in its card name and the number of cards in your soul is 1 or less, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw 2 cards. Choose a card from your hand and discard it. So she's an 11k base Coco, but you have to instead you Counter Blast 1 instead of Counter Blast 2, but you ditch instead of you net 1 because you have to discard 1 instead of keeping it. Here we have the new Bladewing, Bladewing Sullivan. Continuous Vanguard. If the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, this unit gets continuous. All your Vanguards or your Guardians get power plus 10,000 or shield plus 10,000. So you can drop a grade 3, becomes a 10k. Drop a 5k, becomes a 15. 10k becomes a 20. Interceptor goes from 15 shield to 25 shield. And auto. At the end of the battle, this unit was attacked. Soul Blast 2. So basically, if you have more than 15, your Guardians get the shield, but you have to Soul Blast 2. Once you go lower than 15, then your Guardians lose the power, and you don't have to Soul Blast. Then second ability. Once unit is placed on Vanguard, it's an auto. Choose one of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 3 cards with the same card name as that unit, and put them in his soul, shuffle your deck. So he'll fill up your soul if you can get it there. I have rear guards for him to do. Alright, then we have Witch Queen of Holy Watered Clove. She's Genesis. Her ability is Soul Blast 6. When this unit attacks Vanguard, if you have a heart card with Witch card name, you may pay the cost. If you do until end of turn, this unit gets continuous. During your turn, all of your units with Witch in its card name get 5,000. So, full field, that's 2 triggers basically each column. Plus whatever triggers you check. Then if you have 2 or more heart cards, so basically if you're in Legion, this unit gains a critical. So basically, she could attack alone, if you're in Legion, attack alone for 31 and a crit. Then whatever booster, it's even more, so that gets scary. Alright, next box opening I do is going to be a speed opening. We have 7 Seas Sage Plankton. He's the other 7 Seas I was talking about. Auto, Drop Zone, Counter Blast 2, beginning of your ride phase. If you have a grade 2 or greater Vanguard 7 Seas in its card name, you can pay cost. If you do, ride this as stand. So it helps, get the break right off, or you'd have a, standing Vanguard. Or a Vanguard, Helps get around Mega Colony too. If you get hit by that when you can't ride and forces rest, then you ride him. Auto, when these units placed on Vanguard, choose up to 1 card from your drop zone, call to rear guard, and in a turn retire the unit called with his effect. Like I said, he helps net you a card when he's ridden, either with With his ability, just normal ride phase. Feel it. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have 3 or more other rear guards with Jewel Knight as card name, pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 Jewel Knight as card name. Call to rear guard, shuffle deck, and turn. Put the card called with its effect into your hand. Choose a card from your hand, discard it. So basically, not only do you get grade 3, you could call this grade 1. You could call this turn 1, like if you're attacking, if you can get a full field, you can get a grade 3 as an attacker, and then bounces back to your hand. I mean, you discard, but I mean, this thing is just yeesh. Then we have Evil Armor Mutant Deity Goliath. Counterblast 1, once per turn, act skill. If you have a heart card with Giraffe in its card name, choose up to 6 of your units with Giraffe in its card name. Until end of turn, they get continuous Vanguard Rear Guard. During your turn, if all your opponent's Vanguards and Rear Guards are rest, this unit gets power plus 5,000. So basically, if all your opponent's Rear Guards are rest, all your Giraffe units get 5,000 and Vanguard Rear Guard. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, choose up to 1 of your opponent's Rear Guards, and that unit cannot stand during your opponent's next stand phase. So all 3 attacks hit because since he takes the name of the heart, and if you stride him over Giraffe, basically he'll get 5,000 to any ability. If he hits, one of your opponent's units gets stunned, can't stand next turn. And then we have Reform Calling Gear Eagle, the other gear card. Let's see, Time Leap Auto, Generation Break 1. When this unit attack hits a Vanguard, if you have this is a rear guard skill. If you have a Vanguard with Chronos Command as card name, choose up to 1 of your other rear guards and Time Leap it. Time Leap, bind, call a unit 1 grade higher than the unit you bound from your deck. Shuffle deck, end of turn, put the card you called to the bottom of the deck, and then call the bound card. And then Auto Vanguard, choose 1 of your rear guards and put it on the bottom of your deck. When your G unit with Chronos Command stride during your turn, you pay the cost. If you do, look at 10 cards from the top of your deck, search for up to 2 with the Time Leap ability from among them. Reveal them to your opponent, put them into your hand, and shuffle your deck. Right now, this isn't as good since you don't have much that can the Time Leaps, but other than that, yeah, he's good because from the trial deck, after we get set 6, he'll be amazing, or set 5. Then we have Bad End Dragger Searcher. Choose a grade 3 from your hand, reveal it. When this unit is placed on rear guard during your battle phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 card with Bad in its card name, reveal to your opponent, put into your hand, and shuffle your deck. So basically, you have to spare him during the battle phase, but you don't have to discard anything. Here we have Destruction Tyrant, Hellrex, and Maxima. Once per turn, choose 1 of your rear guards and retire it. If you have a heart card with Rex in its card name, search your deck for up to 1 card with Rex in its card name, bind it face up, and shuffle your deck. If you bound a card, choose up to 3 units in your front row and they get power plus 4,000 until end of turn. So basically, you search for Dark Rex, so basically his attack doesn't hit. Spear Ride Dark Rex, you have another attack. That's what he's or the new Rex rear guard. Vanguard weird skill they have. We have Nightmare Doll, Master Brenda. Put this unit to your soul. Choose up to 1 Workoroid from your soul. Call to rear guard, and until end of turn, that unit gets auto. When this unit is put into your soul from rear guard, choose a card named Nightmare Doll, Master Brenda from your soul and call it to rear guard. So basically, you can put her into soul, call a Nightmare Doll. I'm pretty sure they're all Workoroids. And then end of turn, if that unit goes back to soul, she comes out. And then auto, when this unit is placed on rear guard from soul, choose all of this unit's acts and they are lost until end of turn. So basically, if she goes into soul and then comes back out, like Nightmare Doll hits, you can't use her effect again. I don't know how you would, but Then we have Friend of the Sun, Marlka. When this unit returns from to your hand from rear guard if you have a Vanguard with Pacifica in its card name. Search your deck for up to one card with Pacifica in its card name. Reveal to your opponent, put into your hand, shuffle your deck. Then you may choose up to 3 cards with Pacifica and its card name from your hand and reveal them. If you reveal 3 cards and all the revealed cards have different card names, Countercharge 1, Soul Blast 1. Choose up to 1 of your other units and it gets power plus 5,000 until end of turn. So you get on Flipper, and with how many Pacificas there are, you could, I don't know if it'd be good, but you could build a deck with different named Pacificas. And then let's see who our strat. Oh, very nice. We have Ultimate Beast Deity, Ethics Buster Catastrophe. Andy loves this card. Once per turn, choose a face down card from your G-Zone, turn her face up. If you have a heart card with Beast Deity in its card name, till end of turn, this unit gets auto. Winning your drive check, reveals a grade 1 or greater card with Beast Deity in its card name. Choose up to 1 of your rear guards, stand it. And if you have 2 or more face-up cards named Ultimate Beast Deity, Ethics Buster Catastrophe in your G-Zone, that unit gets power plus 3,000. So basically, anything that isn't a trigger or non-grade zeros turn into stands. Then, so basically he becomes extreme, I believe. Yeah, and then if you have 2 or more face up of him, anything that stands. Yeah, anything that stands gets 3,000. I don't know if it gets power if you run, if you stand with a stand. I don't think so. Alright, then we have Witch of Intelligence Deltal. Auto 0. Basically, there's no cost for this skill. When this unit is placed on rear guard, if you have 2 or more cards with Witch and its original card name on your Vanguard, you may pay the cost. So basically you have to be in Legion for her. If you do choose one of your opponent's rear guard circles with a rear guard, your opponent reveals 5 cards from on top of his or her deck, chooses 1 grade 0 from among them, calls it to that rear guard circle, and shuffles his or her deck. So it gets around resist. Basically, you target the rear guard circle, not the rear guard unit itself. Then we have Destruction Dragon Squall Rex, and its act ability, hand, bind this card face up. Same as Dark Rex, choose one of your units, it gets power plus 3,000. And then auto bind zone, Counterblast 1, choose one of your rear guards and retire it. At the end of the battle that your unit with Rex and its card name attacked a Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, call this unit to rear guard. So basically, you can get 2 attacks from the same column with him. And then we have Floral Witch Master Mimi OTT. She's her skill is kind of scary. Auto, choose a card with Witch in its card name from your hand and discard it. When this unit is placed on Vanguard, if you have a hard card with Witch in its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, opponent chooses 2 cards from his or her hand and discards them. If he or she does not discard 2 cards, choose one of your opponent's Vanguards, deal 1 damage, and during that damage check, all trigger effects are nullified. So basically, if you discard a Witch and your opponent does a discard 2, they take a damage and no triggers. So if they're at 5 damage, this can end the game. You don't even have to attack. So it's honestly just like wow. I mean it's better because at least this way it's easy to get around. You just have to discard 2. But alright, auto rear guard. Choose 2 Stealth Dragon Ouroboros Keeper from your rear guard and put them in top of your deck in any order. At the end of your turn, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 3 card, reveal to your opponent, put him to your hand, and shuffle your deck. So basically, he's another grade 3 searcher. Besides, the 4K Countless 1 and Soul Check top 5. But he works for anything, and he's not limited to top 5. You just have to have a clone of him, which, it's Murakumo, so they do that pretty well. Then we have Maiden of Waterpot. Auto rear guard. Put this unit in Soul. Choose a normal unit from your drop zone. Put it on top of your deck. When your other unit with Maiden of and its card name is placed on rear guard from your deck, if you have a Vanguard with Maiden of and its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, shuffle your deck, draw a card, and countercharge 1 on flip damage. So yeah, You return the normal unit, you lose her, you return the normal unit, and you get a draw, and then you get a unflip damage. So, not bad at all, honestly. I mean, if you could somehow keep on cloning her, that'd be... Jeesh. Alright, auto. Counterblast 1, Still Blast 1. When these units placed on Vanguard, if you have a hard card with Infinite, so basically the break ride from the trial deck for Link Jokers, its card name, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a rear guard from your opponent's front row and back row and lock them. Then, if the number of cards in your damage zone is 4 or more, the cards locked by this effect cannot be unlocked during your opponent's next stand phase. So, you break ride, and then straddle him and you're 4 damage. Your opponent has 4 locked cards, 2 of which will not be unlocked during his or her end phase. Alright, so that is all I have for this video, and then next video I will be doing a speed opening of the second box I have. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and Team Social Link out.